The following portion of Daytime Blue Ridge is sponsored by
When it comes to the heat of the summer, we all tend to have our tricks to keep ourselves cool, but sometimes we forget about our furry four-legged friends. So joining us now to give us tips for keeping our pets cool and safe this summer is Courtney Wiegard, I almost said it wrong, from Vinton Veterinary Hospital. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Such an important topic.
Absolutely.
It is so important. So let's just go down the list. How do we make sure that our kids, or not our kids, our pets avoid dehydration and heat stroke? I didn't know animals could get heat stroke also.
Right, so as you know, I mean, it's 82 degrees out today. It is perfect weather for a heat stroke. So people tend to like to leave their dogs and even outdoor kitties outside all day. If they don't have proper shelter, if they don't have access to fresh water, they can dehydrate very quickly.
Okay.
So keeping them cool, keeping them in a quiet area. Try to keep them inside if you can.
Okay.
But really access to fresh water and keeping them in a cool, shaded place.
Now, we talked about heat stroke. So what are some of the signs of a heat stroke in an animal?
So dogs will naturally pant to try to cool.
Yeah.
But if it's excessive panting, really rapid, shallow breathing, so really bad hyperthermia, so they feel very, very hot to the touch. Any sort of neurologic signs, if they look like they're dazed and completely out of it, that could be a sign that your animal is having a heat stroke.
And so at that point, do we take them to the vet?
Absolutely. You can try to cool them down a little, put a little cold water on them. You can put a little ice on their paws. Some people have those freezer packs. Wrap the freezer pack in a towel or a paper towel. You can put that on inside their ear, on their paws, but get them to the vet immediately.
Okay. Now I didn't know this, there are actually some breeds of dogs that are more susceptible to the heat, that they don't do as good as in the heat. What dogs are those?
That's correct. So I have a French Bulldog at home who cannot be outside. About 75 degrees for him is about all he can tolerate. So they have a really short skull. They're what's called brachiocephalic breeds, and boxers, bulldogs. Boxers tend to tolerate the heat a little bit better, but English bulldogs, French bulldogs, pugs, even some Shih Tzus, they can't breathe very well, and so they tend to overheat pretty quickly.
Okay. Can dogs wear sunscreen? I mean, we wear sunscreen. I make sure to put it on my children, but dogs, is that somebody I should be putting sunscreen on?
Believe it or not, they should be wearing sunscreen.
Okay.
So any animal that is light skinned or light colored, they are actually more at risk for developing certain skin cancers, just like people are. So talk to your veterinarian, find a sunscreen that has no odor to it, kind of the baby kind of sunscreen.
Okay, so they can use human sunscreen. They don't make special dog sunscreen.
They do make special dog sunscreens that you can find at a pet store, but I would always take it to your veterinarian first and make sure it's okay to put on the skin. But cats especially too, these really white cats, you can put sunscreen on their ears and on their nose. Okay.
Now, one thing that is terrifying, and I hate to see it, but people leaving dogs in cars, it's not okay even with the window rolled down?
Absolutely not. Really, even in a 70-degree day, when your animal's in the car and the windows are shut, it can heat to 100 degrees. It's like an oven, and it happens very quickly. So rule of thumb is just leave your pet at home, or if you can leave the air conditioning on, or leave a human in the car with the air conditioning on. But otherwise, do not take your pet out. Do not leave it even for a couple minutes. It can be that quick.
So, and then there's two places that we should kind of watch out for: grass, which is very surprising to me, and then of course hot asphalt.
Yes. People don't think about when we go running out in the middle of the day or walking out, we have on footwear, flip-flops, shoes. They just have their little paw pads, and so that asphalt can get very, very hot and can scald the paw pads for both dogs and cats. So really avoiding the hot asphalt. When it comes to the grass, it's making sure these grassy areas haven't been treated with a fertilizer or a pesticide that might be toxic. So wiping their paws off as soon as they get in, going cool water, cool washcloth. So we tell a lot of clients, take a washcloth, run it through the water, and actually stick it in the freezer. And it's a nice little malleable little cold pack that you can use for your pet.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming in. If you guys want a recap of this segment, or if you guys want kind of a list of everything we talked about here, we will have that. Just head over to our website, daytimeblueridge.com.